Hello, everybody. Douglas V. Gibbs here, and there's a lot to talk about something very interesting. I've heard about people who they can't fly; they're on a no-fly list, or gosh, I can't fly because I can't wear a mask, and I'm being demanded to wear a mask. Now, it goes all the way back to a video I saw long ago with the John Birch Society, where the gentleman was talking about how a flight attendant told him he had to wear a mask because it was the quote unquote law. And he explained that when the president says you have to do something, it's not law, it's an edict. But let's take that a step further. Does the federal government have the authority to tell you what you can or can't do on an airplane? Do they have any authority regarding the airlines at all? And if they do and if they don't, why, and is it good or is it bad? So first of all, we go through the first 7 articles, and obviously during the time of the Founding Fathers, there were no airplanes. So any authority regarding the airlines and all of that is not given to the federal government in the first 7 articles. Then we go through the amendments. Have there been any amendments to grant authority to the federal government regarding airlines or airplanes or anything like that? No. So from a constitutional point of view, technically, airlines, airplanes, air travel is none of the federal government's business. Should it be? Should the Federal Aviation Administration even exist? From a constitutional standpoint, no. From a necessity standpoint, probably. We have international travel and travel across country, and if you allow the states to all have their own rules regarding aviation, there may be some conflict there. So I can see a need for federal authority over airlines. But at the moment, because the federal government just took it upon themselves to have this authority without asking the states with an amendment process. Remember, amendment process, it takes 3/4 of states to approve a proposed amendment. Without the amendment process, without it going through an amendment process, it's not an authority. So the federal government took it upon themselves to have the aviation authority, and there is no authority. But since at the current moment there is no aviation authority, then that would mean that a no-fly list can't be done. It's none of the federal government's business who gets on or off a plane. Mask mandate, none of their business. Federal government has no authority. But then again, standards regarding the tires on the plane, standards regarding the parts on a plane, none of the federal government's business. Well, sometimes I guess regulation is a good thing. And do we really trust the states to regulate such a thing? Individually, independently, and get along on it? One state might have one regulation, another state might have a different regulation. So it could get confusing. Or how about this? There was a woman that I knew who told me that she was not only on a no-fly list, but the federal government told her she couldn't even leave the country. I told her that's unconstitutional. You can leave the country. Getting back in might be a problem because the federal government does have the authority to look at who's coming into the country. Migration, Article 1, Section 9. But the federal government really doesn't have technically any authority to be telling us whether or not we can fly, where we can fly to, and what we have to do while we're on the planes. Now, that said, if the airline wants to have a face mask mandate, it's a private company, they can do that. I hate to say it. And for those of you who know me, you know my stance on wearing a mask. I choose not to, but I don't hammer people who choose to. Because when it comes to liberty, it's all about, assessing the risk and then making that decision for yourself. So I have no problem with people wearing a mask. Heck, I don't even have a problem with the federal government and a bunch of Hollywood actors and businesses recommending you wear one. But they can't mandate it. or at least from a government level, they can't. And businesses, when it comes to, mandating things like that, well, our consumerism can respond to that. And the businesses that are more harsh on such decisions, if they start losing business, well, they may change their mind. But getting back to aviation, so we've got no authority anywhere in the Constitution regarding aviation. Does Congress know this? Does people in the federal government? Well, some of them do. I remember, this is a long time ago. This goes all the way back to the Obama administration. I remember that there was a proposed law that had happened where a federal law that would outlaw someone pointing a laser, those little laser pins or whatever, at an airplane. That it would be a federal offense to shine a laser light at an airplane. Well, from a practicality point of view, that's a good idea. You hit someone in the eye with one of those things, you can blind them, cause a plane to wreck. There's all kinds of things that could go wrong. But from an authority point of view, once again, the federal government has no authority over airlines. And Rand Paul, even though the Republicans and the Democrats both together voted that this was a good bill to approve, Rand Paul said no, the federal government doesn't have authority. If that law needs to be on the books, it's up to each state. And he was right. Once again, should the federal government have such an authority? I suppose so. Especially when it comes to the need for tight standards when it comes to the working mechanical parts of an airplane. I kind of like the fact that the regulations are so tight that the airlines have to make sure those things, aren't falling out of the sky. But do they have the authority? No. Federal government has no authority. And until there's an amendment to the Constitution giving them the authority, the Federal Aviation Administration is an unconstitutional department. And every law, every edict, every mandate, every executive order, every legal decision regarding flying, well, in a nutshell, it's unconstitutional. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time here on this video channel. This has been Daily Dose. I'm doing daily videos live and then leaving them on the YouTube page. I'm also putting copies on my BitChute page. So bitchute.com/Douglas V. Gibbs. So if ever one of these vanish on you because YouTube decided they didn't like what I had to say, you can still watch it over at BitChute. You can go to douglasvgibbs.com/video. Also for a list of all of these daily dose videos, as well as all my other videos. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, and if you feel so inclined and would like to donate to my cause, because it does take funding. politicalpistachio.com, douglasvgibbs.com, both has donation buttons. United we stand, combined we kick butt. God bless America, and my friends, God bless you. We'll see you next time. Thanks.